Hi everyone, this is Christina, aka Yarn Yogi. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial to make the Namaste Sleep Mask, which is a nice crocheted eye mask. For this project you will need a super chunky, like a 6 chenille yarn. I'm using, and all these examples are actually made out of Premier's Bloom Chenille. But really any kind of soft like 6 yarn is great. Anything that's like nice and soft because it's obviously going on your face. I actually have one panel done. I'm going to be using this to make the second panel, and then we'll show you how they go together, but they're made of 2 panels that are then stitched together along the outside. So for the stitching on the outside, you'll want to use like a 3 weighted yarn. This is a Lion brand, like bamboo. Bamboo, cotton. I've used like Cotton Fair before from Premier, anything like that. And then you're going to want to also use like an elastic cord, and that's for the elastic band on the back. So I have a spool of that. I'm linking everything below, including the yardage that you'll need and recommendations and any links to the products I'm using. But yeah, I think that's it. And also we'll be using a J hook. So J hook, 6 bulky yarn, 3 kind of like a sport weighted yarn, and the elastic cord, which is 1.2 millimeters. Again, everything is below. So yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get your chenille yarn on your hook, and we're going to chain 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so then after you have 19 chained on your hook, you're going to go into the second chain from your hook, and you're going to do 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and then single crochet in every chain until you get to the last chain on your the last stitch left on your chain. So that was 2. We'll go in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you'll have 1 left. When you get to 18, you're going to do 2 stitches in there. So you'll do 19 and 20. The goal is that we have 20 across this entire piece.
Okay, so now that we've done 20 across in your first row, you should have 20 across. We're actually going to do the same thing coming back. 2 increases in the first stitch and 2 increases in the last stitch to get to 22. So we'll go ahead and do that. This time I don't, for this particular sleep mask, I don't chain at the end of the row. I just go right back into the first stitch. It just kind of keeps a cleaner edge for this. So I'm going to go right back into that and do 1, 2 stitches into that chain, and then into that stitch, and then 1 single crochet all the way across till you get to the last stitch, 2 in there, and that will leave you with 22. So I already did 2, and then we'll go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then in that last stitch we're going to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then in that last stitch we're going to do 2, so we have 21 and 22, just like that.
Okay, so now that we have 22 across, we're going to, again, not chain at the ends, go right into the first stitch, single crochet 22 across, turn, do the same thing, and we're going to do that 4 more times to get a total of 5 rows of 22. So we're going to go. Okay, so now that we've done our total 5 rows of 22, we are going to work our way back in with a single crochet, again starting in that first stitch. We're only going to go halfway, so since we have 22, we're going to do 11 single crochets. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so now we're halfway across, and we're going to actually flip our work at that point, and we are going to skip the first stitch, and we're going to do 10 single crochets right to the end. So we're not going in that first one, we're going to skip it, start in the second, and go for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Sometimes this last one is so tricky to get through. Okay, 10. So we have 10 across. Again, flip our work. Now we are going to skip this first one and go into the second again, all the way to the end for 9. So skip the first one into the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That guy. 9. Okay. Flip our work. We're going to skip one and do 7 across. Skip one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 8 across. Skip one and go 8 across. 8. And then one more time, turn, skip one, and this time 7 across. So skip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, So now we have 1/2 of our sleep mask done. And then I just slip stitch into these couple stitches until I get back to that stitch where my first single crochet on the first half of sleep mask is. So it's about 3 slip stitches typically. Let's see. Slip stitch 1, 2, and then right back into that guy there, 3. Okay.
Okay, so now you can see that half of our mask is complete, and that will be working on the other half now. So for that, we are going to do similar but kind of reverse. We're going to go from the middle out for 11 stitches, and then I'll walk you through the rest.
Okay, so we're going to go 11 stitches across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Last stitch always gets me. Okay, flip our work. We're then going to now go into this first stitch this one time. I'm going to the first stitch. We'll go for 1. We're going to go for 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you're just going to slip stitch into that last one, slip stitch, and flip your work. We're now going to skip 1, so we'll skip this first one and go for 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll get you all the way across. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll get you all the way across. 8, 9. Okay, and then we'll turn our work. We're going to skip 1 here and go across for 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and turn, and then we just do 7 across, and we'll slip stitch right at the end to kind of get that curve. Oh, sorry. So skip the first, 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I like to just slip stitch right into that last. And now we are complete with this side. You can see. So I like to cut this, and then when I do that, I like to pull it through this loop and pull it nice and tight.
Okay, so we now have one side of our sleep mask, and then like I mentioned, I'm doing 2 different colors, so now I have 2 sides. So you're going to go ahead and put them together, and what I actually like to do is, you can see where you fasten both of them off. I like to put those opposite each other, just because I think that first side has like a different kind of curve to it than the second side comes out, because we're kind of working backwards. So by doing this, it kind of like helps shape the whole mask. So I like to do it that way. I don't really think it makes that big of a deal. I'm probably just being crazy about it. But yeah, so we're going to sandwich these together like so. And
okay. So I like to pull it through both, like right at the bridge of the nose there, and just tie a knot. And what's great about this double-sided sleep mask is that you get to just tuck your ends right in the center and no one will know. It's my favorite kind of project. Okay, so now we're just going to slip stitch all the way across. So I try to go into every stitch on the edge. Sometimes because of the slip stitching that we did, there's like these little loops. I like to try to catch those when I'm doing this so that I can kind of clean it up. But you're just going to go in, yarn over, and then pull right through for a slip stitch. And just keep doing that all the way across. Okay, so when you get all the way around, you're going to cut off your string. I like went right back into that same hole I started with my last slip stitch. I'm going to cut this string, pull it through again, and just pull it nice and tight. And then I usually just tie a knot. Never can be too sure. Tie a knot, and then again that string can get tucked in. So now you'll see I have a couple strings to tuck in, but you have your mask here. And if you do two different colors like I did, you're gonna see this a little bit more of this string. Where if you do one, it like kind of gets hidden, like a nice clean edge, more like this, you can see here.
Okay, so now I'm just going to tuck my ends in, which again is super easy because it's double-sided, so I usually just pull them through and then trim whatever's kind of hanging out. Tuck that a little bit back in there. And I've got one more here. Put my hook in, find it, and just pull it through. And set this up. So now I have a nice clean sleep mask. This is when we're going to need our elastic cord here. And I usually go, you can see in the ones that are completed, a little bit higher than center on the mask to start. But I just go ahead and I leave a longer tail because you're going to want to knot this a couple times. But I leave a longer tail and I just go in here. So kind of about, if you're looking at your mask on the side like I have mine, you're probably like a few, 3 or 4 rows really. It's really preference too. You can probably go more center, but I like to go back and forth with the crocheting the elastic like 3 times. So you stick it right in there and pull it through. Pull it through. And just go ahead and tie a knot. Nice and tight. Since it's elastic, you really gotta pull it tight and double knot.
Okay, so once you've tied your elastic on, again, kind of keep it a few rows down. You're going to put your yarn, put your hook through the hole where you tied that through, and yarn over and pull up a loop on the elastic. And then you're just going to chain like you normally would. The elastic can be a little tricky, but don't hold it too tight. Just kind of keep it loose. and you're going to chain for 30. Okay, so once you have 30, you're basically, it's going to be longer than your mask, and you can also test this around your head. 30 to like 33 is usually what I make mine. They do like kind of give a lot, so like once you have it, you can kind of stretch it out. You don't want it to be too loose, but obviously you also don't want it to be too tight. So you're basically going to take your chain, and now that you want to go like all the way across from where you did that, where you put this one in. So you're going to follow that across and brings you about right here, and you're going to put your hook in that hole, and in the same way that you did last, you want to just kind of pull yarn up and through the loop. So now you have this connected, and you're going to want to just work your way back through. Okay, so once you've secured your elastic on this side, I like to then have another single crochet into the like hole next to it, so you can start your second row and you're attaching to like a second point of the mask. So you have one here, you're going to go into this hole, yarn over, pull through, and then like you would normal single crochet, yarn over and pull it through. Now you're going to go through each chain on this elastic. You're going to want to go through that and go all the way across. The first one can be a little tricky, but it's pretty much like you'll see these crisscrosses. It's like every single one has a hole. And if you stretch it out, sometimes you need to like just stretch it out and you can kind of see it again. The next row is much easier once you have this first row down. You can also probably use an elastic strap and sew it on. I prefer to not have to sew, so I have always crocheted my straps, but an elastic strap would probably work too, and you can just sew the edges. I'm just not as talented as a sewer as potentially other people. And I've completely lost count by this point, so you should do better than me, but you should have 30 when you go across. I've been known to lose a stitch or few when I attach to the end, so you want to try to maintain that. Okay. All right. Okay. So once you've made it all the way across, just like you did on the other side, you're going to want to go right next to where you started, so that you get a nice secure spot, another section of this of the mask. But before you do that, you should always make sure that you're not getting twisted, because I've done this before and you get twisted. So you're going to want to just stretch this out and see that it's straight, that the second place you sewed it down here is the bottom, so is yours, and then you want to go into that, because it's very easy to get twisted while you're doing this. Okay, so we're going to go into this part of the mask again, and pull it through, single crochet, and then one more time, because now we're kind of going to have 3 spots, and this will be our last row on the strap. So you're going to go in again, single crochet, and you don't have to be too crazy about where you go. The chenille like yarn is pretty forgiving, stuff gets hid in there, so you kind of just want to go on the border as best as you can. Okay, so again, you're going to want to make sure you have this straight. I'm going to turn my work here just to make this easier. Make it straight, make sure you're not twisted or upside down, and you're going to go back through and single crochet all the way across. Okay, so now we've made it to our last stitch. You're just going to go into that last spot, kind of right where you ended. Again, make sure you didn't get twisted. Pull this through, and then since it's the last one, I prefer to pull it through like a slip stitch. I'm going to cut this off and leave a little bit of a tail so I have room to knot it. I'm going to pull this yarn over, pull it through my loop, pull it nice and tight, and then I'm going to just put this back in where I made that stitch and just do another knot. And then again, you can pull this through into your mask. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. For the elastic, you want to make sure you're pulling it right close to where it is, just because it's a thicker yarn. I mean, well, thicker material. I guess it's not a yarn. And it'll pull, like might pop. You don't want it to pop back out. So I'm gonna grab that, pull it through, and then grab this one. Again, kind of right next to it. I think with some other yarns you can go like a stitch away and it doesn't hurt you, but this one you want to be right next to it. Pull it through and cut and cut, and there you go.
Okay, and there you have it. So this is your all crocheted sleep mask. This one could actually be reversible because you put this kind of on the seam, you can actually do it either way. But you can leave it here. I like to give this some stretching. Like I said, I do 30, I've done 35 if I feel like I'm doing it tighter, but it really should fit, you know, and you can kind of stretch it when it's on your head. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Again, everything's linked below, all the materials, and I also have a for sale pattern on my Etsy shop if you prefer a PDF pattern of this, or you want to look at it. It has a diagram, which could be helpful. So yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.